Hi, thanks for clicking on the video. Where we left off in the last episode, I think I was busy setting my draw length up. Now I have settled for 28.5 inches of draw length for now. It feels pretty comfortable to me at full draw, and my elbow's in line with the arrow as it should be. So I'm going to shoot it like that for a while. The beauty of having modules that you can actually slide along to change your draw length is you can always change things later on and it doesn't cost you any extra. So the other thing that I still needed to do on the bow was figure out the PEEP aperture and the right strength clarifier. I was lucky enough that a friend of mine from the archery club has let me borrow one of his clarifiers to put into my PEEP sight, which will then obviously give me an idea of the size and the magnification that I need. So I'll be doing that in this video as well. And then the last couple of things that I need to tidy up as far as getting this bow ready to actually shoot at the club is concerned is figure out my stabilizer setup, which will take trial and error as well. And then also I would like to buy myself some new arrows for the bow. The arrows that I have at the moment that I'm shooting out of my carbon spider that I was using for outdoor target, I actually built for 3D archery unmarked. So they're very light. They're Victory 3D HVs, and overall the whole arrow only weighs about 305 grains. So as far as shooting unmarked distances are concerned, they're really good for that, because your arrow's flying so fast and has such a flat trajectory that if you misjudge the distance by a few meters, generally it's only going to make about that much of a difference on the target anyway. So you're still going to end up hitting pretty much where you would have anyway if you had guessed the distance correctly. So they're good for that. And generally speaking, when you're shooting 3D, or at least at the club that I do, there's a lot of trees around, so the wind doesn't really affect the arrows all that much. But using them for target archery on an oval or on a big field, I have noticed that on really windy days, my arrows do get blown around a lot. So I do want to set up some proper outdoor target arrows for this bow. The problem with that though is I haven't quite decided which arrows I want to use. Now I've heard a lot of good stuff about carbon ones made by Easton, and a lot of good stuff about the Victory VAP arrows. Let me know in the comments what it is that you shoot for outdoor target, and the arrow setup as well, as in length, point weight, vanes, all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure exactly which way I'm going to go with it. The thing that I've got to keep in mind for myself is that there's just no way I can afford any Easton X10s or Pro Tours or anything like that. So I have a fairly modest budget for my arrows. Probably have to save up a little bit more before I can afford them anyway. But I'm kind of leaning somewhere between the VAPs and the carbon ones. But if you have any other arrows that you think are just as good for the same or even cheaper than that, let me know in the comments below, because I'm really interested to find out what is a decent target shaft that doesn't cost a lot of money but that you can still shoot good scores outdoors with. So yeah, I'm interested to find out what it is that you guys use or recommend. So that's pretty much where I'm at as far as the bow itself and setting it up is concerned. So in this video, I'm going to be putting the aperture into the PEEP sight, drawing the bow back, having a look through it and seeing what I think. The other thing that I will do in this video as well is show you the draw length where it is now, and that'll pretty much be it for today. So without further ado, I'll head out the back and we can go through all of those steps. Alright, so step one is obviously installing the clarifier into the PEEP sight. Now it's a fairly simple process. You just need an Allen key that fits the clarifier itself, and it screws in like a grub screw. So as you can see, it has a thread there. This is a yellow clarifier, and you can see the aperture size in it is pretty small as well. Alright, so we'll grab the Allen key, put it on the PEEP sight, and then screw it in. Make sure you don't cross thread it as you do this, and you'll notice when it's tight because it won't want to turn anymore. And there we go. So that's the clarifier installed in the peep. I'll bring the bow up close so you guys can hopefully see it in there. So there you go, you can see the clarifiers sitting inside the peep sight there. So the next thing I'll need to do is go outside, draw the bow back and see what that looks like through the lens. Okay, so I've got the clarifier installed in the peep sight. We're back outside, got the target set up over there. Going to draw the bow back, have a look through the peep and see what I think as far as the size of the aperture and the strength of the clarifier is concerned. So while I'm doing this, you guys can also have a look at the final draw length that I've decided I'm going to go with for a while. Remember, I did also say that that might change over time. So this is just where I'm comfortable at as a starting point. And the more I shoot the bow, the more I'll figure out where exactly I need to be as far as that's concerned. So let's draw the bow back and have a look. Alright, so with the sight in that index hole, this clarifier actually seems perfect. The strength of it makes the target crystal clear, and the size of it is just enough that this smaller ring on the scope housing fits just inside the peep sight. So I'm fairly confident that that peep is pretty spot on. Now I know that I've got a massively long sight bar, and the idea is the further out you put the sight bar, the more accurate you're going to be, because the longer the distance is between the two apertures that you're lining up for accuracy. The problem with that though is that the further out this is, the more it magnifies any kind of wobble that you have. So unless you are absolutely rock solid in your form, having that all the way out there could actually be more of a problem than a help for my accuracy anyway. And if you're similar, you could be in a similar situation. So I'm thinking to start off with, I'm just going to have it where it is at the moment. That looks like it's in hole number 8. And again, the beauty of these sorts of things is you can always change things later on if you need to. When you sight it in, obviously, whatever your sight settings are, they're going to be because of where this is as far as the index hole is concerned. And if you change that, it will change your sight settings as well. But at this stage, I'd rather have a start so that I can actually start shooting the bow and then fine tune things after that. So I'm going to grab that arrow, I'm going to step a bit further back and have another look through the peep and see if I feel the same way at 20 meters as what I do at 2 meters. So bear with me while I do that. Alright, so I'm back here at 20 meters. Well, 18 meters actually, 20 meters, so over there. Gonna draw the bow back again, have a look through the peep and see how I feel. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the size and clarity of that peep with this lens. The target is crystal clear. I can just fit the scope housing within the aperture. Now at least I know what clarifier to buy. So what did you think of the draw length? I'll grab the arrow quickly, draw back once more, give you a proper look at that. It feels pretty comfortable to me. I'll be back in a second. So as I said, happy with the clarifier. Now, let me know what you think of the draw length. pretty happy, feels comfortable, good starting point. And that battery's about to go flat. So I'm gonna go back inside. See you guys in a minute. So there you go, that's the peep sight sorted out. I'm pretty happy with the size of the aperture, and the strength of the clarifier that's in there makes the target crystal clear when looking through the whole setup. The draw length, as I said, I'm pretty happy with at the moment. I can always change it later on if I need to. And of course, if I change the draw length, I'll have to readjust the sight a little bit and that sort of stuff as well. So that's not a big deal. In the next video, hopefully I'll be at a point where I have the arrows and I can actually start sighting the bow in. And then I can also muck around with the stabilizers and that sort of stuff and figure out exactly how I want this bow set up that will work the best for me. So I'm going to call that done. Thanks for watching the video. Leave a like or a comment below. Remember to let me know in the comments what arrows you'd recommend as a budget-friendly target arrow setup. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel, click on the little bell icon so you receive a notification each time I upload a new video. And I hope you all have a great week. And remember, just do good shots.